is Fort Kochi in Kerala, and here they worshipped black slaves. In the late 1600s, the Portuguese had controlled Fort Kochi for 160 years since the Raja of Kochi handed it over to them in 1503. Having first arrived during the Age of Discovery, the Portuguese had brought with them slaves from Mozambique and Old Abyssinia to work as construction workers, soldiers, and deckhands. However, tensions rose as the Dutch East India Company, or the VOC, captured Fort Kochi from the Portuguese in 1683. As they fled, the Portuguese, however, couldn't take all of the wealth that they had looted. In order to ensure that the Dutch don't get their hands on these treasures, the Portuguese came up with a twisted plan. You see these little niches over here? The Portuguese would bury these treasures underneath them. They would then chain these slaves to them and make them promise that they would protect these treasures until one of their descendants came to get them. Then they would seal those niches with mortar, burying them alive. It is now believed that the souls of these people inhabit the streets of Fort Kochi, and eventually the locals began worshipping these spirits, referring to them as Kapiri Muttappan, or Black Grandfather. And today, the locals pay respect to these spirits by offering them cigarettes and liquor. One of my favorite creators, Rohan Davis, points out the similarities between Kapiri Muttappan and the Nigerian spirit god Papa Legba. But it got me thinking about how in our South Indian faith systems, there's a place for martyrs who died by systemic oppression. We can look at practices such as Pottantayam, where the god we worship is a victim of caste-based violence. Even in Tamil Nadu, some versions of Mariamman's tale says that she was an upper caste woman who immolated herself when she found out her lover was a Dalit man. But it doesn't take much reading between the lines to understand that she was most likely honor killed by her family. I personally believe that the broader hegemonic Hindu culture fails to reckon with these stories of the oppressed. What do you think about these practices that remember victims? Make sure to share with the class in the comments below. Nandri, Vanakkam.